Welcome back to the Gold League. I'm Clutch number Roof Hill. We're almost ready for the match one to begin. Cunninghams versus GooglyBobbers. Where do these teams stand right now, Randall?
Well, the Cunninghams have 1 win, 2 losses, 0 draws. And GooglyBobbers have 1 win, 2 losses, 0 draws. So they're both dead even, as it were. Whoever comes out on top, I mean, really good for them at this point in the series. We're halfway through the entire season.
Yep. Well, when it comes to the performance of the Cunninghams, we've mentioned them many times, where they perform very well in Season 2, an increase of performance of their talent from Season 1. And if you measure that, again, multiply it into Season 3, based on the amount of experience, mathematics.
We're going on a curve.
It's going up.
I mean, it's all math.
Yeah.
It's all math. We're just...
Tankonomics, what
Yeah.
we call it. Tankonomics.
Yeah.
All right, but they are performing very well. And again, this is a team that I think can tie in third place for these other teams, Simple Tankers and Hammer Time. But the storyline will continue to evolve here every night until we get to the playoffs, which are a week from this Sunday.
Yeah, I just don't know what to expect. GooglyBobbers are a fantastic team. They have Spoon, one of the top performers right now. He's actually by far and away spotted the most tanks. He's, I think last I checked, 41, and the next person under him had 25 spotted tanks.
Wow, almost
So,
double.
yeah.
Almost double. All right, let's go ahead and welcome our two team captains for the first face-off of the night. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I see the Cookie Monster is back.
Back home, back with the Cookie Monster. Feeling really good about tonight.
Awesome. It's good to hear, A. Martin. I have to ask, though, the Simp match you guys had, Mines in particular, there were some rough battles there. What was going on?
I don't know. I don't think either team's probably very happy with how that match went. There were a lot of mistakes from both sides. Tiny bit of lag for some players, but that wasn't really a big issue. It was just mostly, I don't know, nerves about rematch from playoffs. I don't know. It was just both teams seemed to have trouble focusing. And
Do you have those same nerves here against the Googly-Bobbers?
no, we had a nice chat as a team, and we're gonna be a little more relaxed today.
It's good to hear. Googly-Bobbers, Spoon.
Hi.
You, in particular, have amazing stats right now as far as the league goes. Are you carrying your team, Spoon?
No, I'm not carrying my team at all. You know, it's a team game, not just one player.
All right, all right.
GooglyBobbers, again, you're still trying to prove yourself here in the league. Is this a big obstacle for you against the Cunninghams, or are you feeling pretty squared away as a team that you can outperform them?
The Cunninghams are a very good team, so I don't want to be too hasty on saying anything, but we're still confident as always.
Well, you can be a little bit hasty. Do you have any words to say to Martin before we start?
I can do a Rubik's Cube too.
Oh, okay.
I think you might have
Good
broken
luck.
it.
I think we can race in Vegas, or wherever it is.
All right.
Hey, Martin, anything else?
Hold on, that didn't go as planned. Let's try that again.
All right. Well, I never thought I'd see Sesame Street used so much in a World of Tanks broadcast, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Cunninghams, you have the higher seed. Heads or tails on the coin flip?
Is there a cookie side?
No, there's no cookie
Chocolate
side.
chip?
There's no chocolate
Raisin?
chip side. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads is the call, and tails is the flip. GooglyBobbers, which
We'll defer.
defer? Cunninghams. Map choice.
Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, first map choice. GooglyBobbers, spawn side.
South side.
Say again, south side?
Yep.
All right, GooglyBobbers to the south, Cunninghams to the north on Himmelsdorf. Gentlemen, best of luck.
Thank you.
I love how they bring the props, showing a little bit of personality.
Yep. And we got someone proving that they can also do a Rubik's Cube. A. Martin's not alone, and we can make them race at finals, assuming they both make it.
And somebody actually owns a talking Cookie Monster statue.
What's wrong with that?
What's right with that?
There's so much right with that. You can keep cookies in it.
Maybe he
it
stood in line for
talks.
Christmas for Black Friday to get that.
Or maybe he really likes Cookie Monster.
Do you remember the Tickle Me Elmo? How crazy that was?
Yeah, I had a Tickle Me Elmo. Well, actually, my sister had it, but whatever.
Let me detail betting once again while Randall pulls up Himmelsdorf as we talk about the map. Guys, bets are now open. So in the chat, you have to follow what the syntax is for the bot. The bot lays out what command you type. It's exclamation point bet the value number, and then the team. You must spell the team the same way the bot does. For example, for RU, you cannot put a hashtag. You simply put RU. Make sure to follow the syntax exactly for the bot. The bot keeps track of all of the betting, and we do keep track. We'll go ahead and show you guys who's leading the board at the end of the night tonight. That's how you bet. Any more questions? Ask people in the chat, such as Juan Jockey, who's one of the best mods in the esports world online. Shout out to him. And if you do have any questions, go ahead and ask us on Twitter at WGLNA or at Clutch08 or at Rookhill. And Randall, we see this map used as the #1 map choice so many times. What are some of the approaches these teams can bring to it?
All right, so my thoughts on knowing the GooglyBobbers and on knowing the Cunninghams. I'm expecting to see a lot of train station Northwest play, that kind of deal. And the reason I'm expecting this a lot is because I feel like the Cunninghams like it. Sometimes we'll see other things, but for the most part, I'm expecting to see that kind of polarization. We're going to have a group over in the Northwest, probably a group over in the Southeast, and I don't expect to see a lot of the castle and the hill play. I'm thinking we're going to see maybe a T1 v T1 fight, and maybe some T1s fighting somewhere around EF1, around that zone. And it's hard to predict, though, but what I'm pretty sure I can say is that we won't see much in the courtyard or hill play. No one going across in either direction until maybe mid to late game, at least for these teams. That's kind of the gist that I get out of them.
We've been seeing that quite often on the courtyard scene for Himmelsdorf, of teams cutting in between it and starting those engagements, leaving tank alley slightly open for 2 heavy tanks to stay behind to push in for the flank.
Precisely.
Now, it is difficult sometimes for that to be well executed because of the keyhole regions on the top or the north wall of the courtyard can leave some open shots for those tanks to help anyone coming in across the cross-section.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't feel like that's characteristic of Cunninghams or GooglyBobbers.
True.
So it's hard to talk about that in relation to them because it's a situation I expect to see only reactionary. Like, if the Cunninghams are north, I'm thinking like 70% of the time they're going to open up and go to the west, go to the northwest. But on the south, maybe over to the east towards and just maybe spread out around Tank Alley or to the southwest position. That's just the way I feel like the Cunninghams would play. GooglyBobbers, though, of course, we haven't seen them quite as much, so getting that characteristic out of them is hard to predict.
Unproven but talented. Let's go ahead and jump into match #1, battle #1 of the Cunninghams versus the GooglyBobbers on Himmelsdorf.
And taking a look at the tanks, we see three AMX 5100s and 2 IS-3s for the side of the Cunninghams in the blue. In the red, GooglyBobbers will be sporting an 110, 2 AMX 5100s and 2 IS-3s.
110 used for the damage output, and also the stronger Shuka to the front where bounces are more inclined to occur. And we jump over to the 110. You can see this Chinese-developed tank is built off the technology of the Soviets and with modifications of the Chinese Army. And this is a tank that's been used by all sorts of pros, especially Fulcrum Gaming. They're using them more in-season 2 finals. And they usually lead the charge a lot for these different alleys and corridors.
Well, and as predicted, I'm seeing the Cunninghams going to the northwest position. A little bit of an interesting spread. Triremes being aggressive. We've got nothing too out of the way. Taka looking down the mid, and Commander J along with the Millard are going to be in the very northwest in A1, looking to counter out a T1 early in the game. And as you can see in the south, the GooglyBobbers have taken up the G line.
They have a good spread, and we saw this G line happen for Simp last night as well versus Cunninghams.
It's a solid position. It's great defensively, very flexible. You can protect yourself against like fast cap. You can counter out hill play. You can watch across the mid. It's easy to approach early in the game without taking any damage. It's one of the most forward positions you can get early on in the battle. And with that, now we see maybe an engagement happening. So I see Zombie Food is spotted, and I'm looking for Trireme in the IS-3, reverse angling to the south, looking for a T1 maybe. And he will find Tuxzilla, but not able to get a shot off. And we might see a T1 engagement, though, on the hill soon.
It is possible. Zombie Food in the IS-3 is seen. He's going up and down this hillside. He sees a Martin in the T1, but no dice yet for an engagement. Armor Ghost is the one on the side of the GooglyBobbers, the team in the red, next to the castle. Not going to scout anything yet. Proxy scouting could occur once he rounds the castle, but no approach of tanks coming up from the Cunninghams will be information, and vice versa for the GooglyBobbers. That the hill is going to be completely clear, at least for the time being.
Although this T1 could spot a few tanks if they were down there. However, Armor Ghost is spotted. Comps is beginning to zero, and it doesn't. Does Armor Ghost spot Comps in return? I can't tell.
No, I don't see any spotting yet.
Well, Comps could take this opportunity to maybe ambush Armor Ghost as he attempts to retreat from the hill. However, it looks like he's going to play it safe. You know, maybe there's a T8 out there, and he's going to avoid engaging with Armor Ghost. Armor Ghost having taken no damage from A. Martin down in D5. I think I was hearing A. Martin shooting from D5. That little 20 mil, just making pew-pew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little bouncing shots into the brick. Now Comps is spotted. Armor Ghost. Comps unloads into Armor Ghost.
Ooh, down to 68. Nice, and he will be able to retreat, having only taken a little bit of damage and down to 102.
Armor
Right
Ghost-
behind Comps, though, is Taka.
Armor Ghost did suffer some damage to his turret.
Oh.
May have had to burn a kit. T1 is spotted, though. Again, Armor Ghost sees Comps. Comps not shying away from continuing to move out into open cover. Taka gets the kill. A bait coming out from Comps. A nice shot.
Really well done there. And with that, actually, we're going to see a push. A. Martin will go down in response. Taka has the high ground, though, and he is zeroing on Sovereign, Zool, and Zombie Food, but he takes a hit to the gun. Actually, it looks like it penned as well.
Once they run this corner, they're going to be exposed. Spoon in the 5100 is seen. The Millard sees him, but he takes a shot himself. Bananas to the wall host suffers 2 hits to the front. Spoon backs up, covers the retreat of the IS-3, but he is in the front. That's not where the 5100 should be. The IS-3 should
Commander
be in the
J is
front.
tracked out in the open. He has to burn his kit, and he will get alpha down very easily. Huge loss right there of a tier 8 for the side of the Cunninghams. Now Militant 83 and Trireme are attempting to stop the captain. They are doing very well against Zombie Food and Sovereign Zool. Zombie Food is down to 232 hit points, but right behind them is a push. Bananas to the wall host is coming in. Millard is ready for this, and Militant 83 and Trireme are going to begin zeroing on that position. Actually, it will just be Trireme. Militant will have to stop the cap, and he will actually put a nice shot into Sovereign Zool, taking him down to 518.
The Millard focusing on Bananas to the wall host in the IS-3, leaving Baronish still at full health.
Oh, but great flanking from Taka, and he will come into the backfield. Spoon should go down, but Trireme will go down first. Now the Millard will get to fire onto Baronish. Militant 83 should go down shortly. He actually gets ammo wreck, and that is huge because he will take 500 some odd damage just from one shell, and that will even it up. We now have a single tier 1 for both sides and 2 tier 8s for either side. 5100s versus 5100 and an IS-3.
Millard cleans up Sovereign Zool in that last shot. Tuxilla wins out the T1 battle against Comps. Baronish and Zombie Food stand on the flag cap with 20 seconds left. Taka, 001 in the AMX 5100, is climbing closer against Zombie Food in the IS-3. But look at his position. Right behind this tank in a great hold down position in the IS-3. Taka takes a big hit, and the other 5100 lines it up, and he gets the kill. That's going to be a reset, and Millard from the other side rams right into Baron.
Oh, but Millard has so much less health, and Baronish is loaded. Millard at 45. Will he be able to? No, he will not be able to do it, and everyone goes down for the Cunninghams. GooglyBobbers take battle number 1.
A well-executed flank happening from the Cunninghams, but they had they didn't have enough health.
Yeah.
The other team, GooglyBobbers, had too much health in that skirmish. The reset did happen. They tried to wait to the last second, but that did not effectively work. That health value, it came down to those 5100s landing those shots, and the IS-3, at first I thought, why is he behind? The 5100 was in the front, but they could still output the damage.
Yeah, it's just better played by GooglyBobbers. They had a health pool advantage. They had one tank that was so low. He was the consistent fire tank, but luckily they had this 5100 just about reloaded. And the thing is, Taka didn't have much of a choice. So little time left on the clock. He does take a hit. He can't waste time. He realizes he will go down soon, whether he likes it or not. He continues going forward after he takes that shot. Maybe he could have gone backwards, juked around a little bit, made the 5100 have to work for it. And Millard, of course, is not loaded, unfortunately. He tries to go in, shield for his battle buddy or something. That's what he's going for. He's trying to shield for him or make a distraction. But unfortunately, because he wasn't loaded, he wasn't able to take enough attention onto himself, and just better play by the GooglyBobbers.
A surprising play coming out from a team that this is their first time that they're participating in the Gold League. They join us in the qualifier number 1, where they beat Victoria's Secret to make it into the Gold League. And so far, they're proving that they can go toe-to-toe with some of these teams in the top 16.
Yeah,
but
certainly.
it's only game number 1.
And taking a look at the post-game stats, I'm looking at Baronish right now in the 5100. He made 10 for 10 shots, everything penned, doing 2,177 damage. That is fantastic play from a 5100 right there. That's what carries a game, making every shot count. Props to him.
Very well done. The side of the Cunninghams, when they had that one heavy tank on the hill, the other 2 tanks, or that one tank that retreated from the hill and the other tank with him, they were waiting for the right time to get that pincer attack. But there was so much damage being dealt against them on the left side toward the flag cap, they just couldn't hold.
Yeah, a huge problem also for the Cunninghams was when Commander J poked out and he got tracked. Now, this is really good play by the GooglyBobbers as well, making the track shot work. But Commander J peeks out, he gets tracked in the open, and then he sits still just long enough. He has to burn his kit, yes, but he lost all of his backwards momentum. He didn't get to keep going back. He didn't get into safety, and the GooglyBobbers made their shots count. And because they made their shots count so expertly, they took down a 5100 before he could get off, I think, all of his shots. I'm looking for Commander J. Commander J got 5 for 5. Fantastic job, but he didn't live. He didn't get a second clip, and he didn't get that 6th shot out. Really hurt the Cunninghams in that battle.
It did. It really did. And when you lock down those 5100s, that is how you that's how you stop. You don't try to stop. You do stop the damage output against you. And you can actually be a little bit more flexible with your positioning when those 5100s are taken out, not just because of the damage output, but those 5100s like to track tanks because they have the 6-shot bursts. And so they can afford to do that compared to an IS-3 where they'll shoot and it takes them a little bit longer to reload.
Precisely.
Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2. It's going to be on Cliff between Team Cunninghams and Team GooglyBobbers.
And for tanks, we're actually going to see 2 T-69s and 3 1390s for the side of the... Oh, I'm getting DC in my ear, but real quick, looking at that lineup, it's 3 1390s, a STA-1 T-69, and 3 1390s for the other side.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Go ahead and exit the battle back to the garage. We'll talk about Cliff real briefly here. This is a map where it was added in Season 2. A lot of teams engage in the center area, and within that engagement, they really like to have that spread from the western side coming across from the center. We hardly ever see any eastern play. MacG loves to play in the T1 just above the eastern side to scout if there's any eastern play, and it is a very smart position to have. And I'll have Rukil detail that position on the telestrator.
Yep.
But I see teams trying to do something a little bit different on the western side of the map. I see teams from the north come up and wait to go up that little mountain pass, the little mountain area, to try to get up to the western donut instead of engaging in the center. Now, that's worked a couple times at least to get up there, but a lot of times teams will figure that out because they place their T1s on the west side and will stop them coming up that cliff edge. If you only have one small entrance to get up, it's a lot easier to defend against compared to a wider berth alignment of the center of the cliff. And what do we have on the telestrator, Randy?
Okay, so looking at every lane of approach. In the north, you've got the usual north approach, and also I wanted to detail and circled in white around Echo 3, Foxtrot 3, the ramp up. That is a really dicey area early in the battle. And you're going to have to tell me, Clutch, when we have to get back into that training
I'll let you
room.
know.
Yeah. But it can be so dicey to get into there, because early on, if you overmatch that position, much like in mines, you can find yourself in a very bad position, because you could have tanks still coming out to the east side, and they're out of position. They have to cross a great distance in order to get to that fight. So that's just a huge part of Cliff right there.
Now the training room has opened back up, so go ahead and hit that battle button, Randall.
Yep,
So
I'm
we can jump back
delaying
into this.
everything.
No, it's fine. The symmetry of Cliff, a lot of players really like. I do as well. I feel when you can have an engagement that's a little bit tighter fitting in the center, and then you try to branch off of different things to bring to the map compared to, well, they could fight up to the north, and then we'll be down in the south, and we'll wait for a while. Kind of like Prokhorovka.
It's hard to get in a polarizing position.
Yeah,
it's not like you
it
can
really
play
is.
east versus west, and the two of you are going to square off in a bad way. There's an approach that's safe, and there's a good way to go about countering out your opponent. That's what makes Cliff really comfortable. It's hard to draw on. It's easy to make a fight happen. And if you're better, generally, you're going to come out on top.
All right. Hopefully no more disconnects. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2, the Cunninghams versus GooglyBobbers on Cliff.
And taking a look at the tanks, I have to remind you guys, 2 T69s and 3 1390s for the side of the Cunninghams. For the side of GooglyBobbers, we have an STA-1, T69, and 3 1390s. So Sovereign Zool has decided the ST-1 is a worthy tank to bring. It's got great DPM, fantastic gun depression, just doesn't have the same turret, but it probably stacks up well enough against T69s.
I'm looking at one of the T69. He has optics instead of a vertical stabilizer. What are your thoughts on that?
That seems like actually a pretty smart move. You can, if you're going to be engaging at range. However, maybe on Cliff, it's not the best item. He's probably bringing that for steps, and he hasn't really changed up his equipment because I mean they have a minute 30. You can't always do that.
And so the wall host on the side of the GooglyBobbers to the south. Now climbing up this mountain pass I was speaking of, this area right here, where sometimes we've seen the North try to get there, but not in time. It's going to be a central commitment coming out of the north side, the Cunninghams in the blue. And Spoon is spotted.
Ooh,
Shots fired against him as he backs up. 850, another shot from across the way from Silent Demise. It misses. Spoon falls back.
Yeah, Silent Demise is out on an island by himself. He's out in the west. I see 2 1390s slightly to his south. If they engage on Silent Demise and he can't pull back, he gets tracked out in the open. That could be huge. But the hit onto Spoon, taking him down to 850, is rather significant. If they discover that there are 2 1390s to the west, there's a way, I think, that Cunninghams could just begin an engagement and just bully them out of this position. Certainly with these T69s, Militant 83 and Taka, taking proper cover and using their awesome gun depression and burst to really just bully around the members of GooglyBobbers.
Spoon's still staying close to that mountain pass, that mountain area, but not fully committing because he has taken damage. The STA-1 by Sovereign Zool can be a bit of a shield, but he doesn't have the same armor, especially turret armor, compared to a Pershing. These teams have been bringing this new Japanese tank to many matches.
Real quick, Comps has taken some fire in the south. 11 hit points left for him. He's having to back off. A. Martin does punish Tuxzilla a little bit, but it's 2 T1s versus 2 T1s squaring off. If they win, that's a lot of cap pressure for either team. And now the Cunninghams, though, are down on health points for those T1s. T1 fights are very important, guys. Oh, wow, actually,
Spoon falls.
More important.
Taka on the T69 unloads against him, and he is able to fall. Zombie Food and Bananas to the Wall host on the west weren't able to move in and do any damage, really. Silent Demise did take a hit a little bit earlier. But yeah, his Spoon fell fast, and that's going to be a huge advantage for the Cunninghams. With only 7 minutes and 36 seconds, well, only having 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
But an engagement for Bananas to the Wall host onto Silent Demise. First shot is a miss. Bananas to the Wall host comes out again for a shot. Does connect, but Bananas to the Wall host down to 338. The return fire is just too much, and Militant does take some hits. But the thing is, it's not looking good for the GooglyBobbers. They're down to tier 8 and still not able to return the damage. Silent is down rather low now. He's at 393, but Bananas is slightly lower than him. Zombie Food backs off, and both are failing to connect. Silent tries to back off more, and Zombie's actually going to put shots into other tanks. Commander J possibly taking down 375, although Kyle is down to 118. Silent Demise goes down.
Silent Demise falls Bananas to the Wall host, but revenge happens from the Millard. Gets the kill. Zombie Food, the AMX 1390, falling back to the south side as the push is going to happen. Spectrum falls. Sovereign Zool and the STA-1 is going to be unloaded upon by the T-69's missed shot from Militant there. Here comes Militant 1390. One more shot will take down Sovereign Zool. 39 HP, he falls.
Now
Zombie
there's
Food,
a
last tier 8.
1390 left against, I guess he's over there with A. Martin and Comps. So T1 squaring off a little bit. They will go down. Zombie Food taking down to T1. But it's probably not going to work out. Taka is too healthy. Militant, Commander J, and Millard are hurt a little bit, but Zombie Food could not hope to deal with this many tier 8s. That's well played by the Cunninghams, really showing that they have it in this fight. Now to 1-1. Well, it will be a 1-1 once this all gets cleaned up.
Well, Commander J falls. Zombie Food still stays in the fight.
Commander J.
He's saying, all right, I softened him up. Go kill him. Millard lines up the shot. And now only 2 T1s remain for GooglyBobbers. And the last one is going to be a little bit further to the north. Taka, we'll see him, and he gets the shot. And there it is. Cunninghams win battle number 2.
Well played by the Cunninghams. It's just a lot of missed shots, though. I think if Silent Demise had gotten jumped on by, who were those 1390s in the west? That was Bananas the Wall host and not Sovereign Zool, sorry. That was Zombie Food. Zombie Food finished the wall host. They tried to jump on Silent Demise, and they were so close.
Yeah.
If they'd landed their shots enough, because we got 5-3, 3 for 5, and then, of course, Zombie Food didn't get to do a whole lot. He lived longer, but a lot of shots not able to connect. That's the thing about 1390, just not a really accurate tank. And if you're on the move, you're not going to get a lot of shots to connect. You're going to have, even if you do stop, you have to really let that settle because you can't get greedy with 1390. You can kind of get greedier with heavy tanks. 5100 is a little more accurate, but 1390 is not a tank you can go wasting shells with, especially with light lineups like this. You don't have a lot of health points. You can't afford to miss. And if you make all your connections happen, you're going to have a great time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We come back. The action continues for the World of Tanks Gold League of GooglyBobbers versus the Cunninghams. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. I'm Clutch, joined by Rookkill, and we're about to jump into game number 3 for the Cunninghams versus GooglyBobbers. And the map's going to take place on Mines, my personal favorite map. A lot of teams way back in the day love to bring the Team Bison. But Rookill's going to go ahead and break down real quickly what we have on the telestrator.
All right, guys. So new meta for Mines is hill play. Where if we see WZ-132s in the lineup, that is the hill all day, every day. Clutch, are there WZ-132s?
There are not. Looks like 1390s. Go ahead and jump into the game, guys. Battle number 3, Cunninghams versus GooglyBobbers on Mines.
Well, then my prediction is wrong, because I don't expect them to take the hill.
Well, they could still take it, but it'd turn into a ram fest between the 1390s.
Yeah, that would be really strange.
Would the STA be reloaded before the 1390s?
Well, the STA is loaded before anyone's even close to the
but
hill.
they're not even going to get. He's not going to get there in time.
No, he could get there for one shot while Commander J. Soundemizer Millard in the 1390s get to the hill. Of course, Taka and Militant 83 are going to be in T69s. Banesh the Wall Host is taking up the perching. And as you were talking about, Sovereign Zool will be in STA1. Kyle in the T69 and 2 1390s, Tuxilla and Spoon. Although it does look like everyone is going towards the hill, so we may see hill play. I was expecting WZ-132 telegraphs that, but I guess they're just going to ignore that. Tuxilla and Spoon, Commander J
takes the first hit.
Tuxilla and Spoon are just going to go past the hill, actually, and they're going to engage straight onto Militant and Taka. They don't want to have the fight happen on the hill because they're going to leave the 1390s behind. Spoon will go down. But now there's a huge overmatch on Taka and Militant 83. Taka should go down, but Tuxilla does put one bounce. There he finishes him off, and Militant is running as fast as he can. But the high ground does... Oh, Kyle is on fire, and he burns. This strat not working out maybe for the GooglyBobbers. They've gone past the hill, but they've lost the high ground and a lot of hit points.
I really like what the GooglyBobbers are trying to accomplish, but they have one of the tanks from the Cunninghams they did not...
Bananas is burning.
And that's all the way to the south. Bananas now at 125. He falls. Cunninghams only has to take down one more T1 and they get the kill. Cunninghams were able to turn around, but the one tank, what tank is over there in Juliet 4?
That is a MS-1. That's A. Martin in the MS-1.
Okay. He was trying to hit something down there, but at least that scouting, keeping one of those tanks away, would have proved to have been a little bit different if it was a different if it was a 1390 instead of an MS-1. So bringing all of those light tanks into the center, smart play by the Cunninghams. I could see what GooglyBobbers was trying to accomplish. Of let's isolate the tanks further down, the T69s. Spoon took way too much damage at the beginning, and that shut down that strategy.
Yeah, it was just if they were going for some kind of blitz, I could see it happening. But the thing is, I don't know. I'm not. I get it, but I don't get it. That's the thing. That's it. I get what they're going for, but they don't have the right lineup. They don't have. Their opponent is going towards the middle, and so what happens is they give up the high ground.
Yeah.
1390s and the high ground are firing easily into things down below from the entrance to the hill. It's a really nice, easy slope. You know, nothing hard about that. It's not going to be a problem for 1390s for the gun depression or anything.
I think, and this is theory crafting here, tank theory crafting, if they would have brought a Pershing and had the Pershing use a hold down position to keep fire into the center of the hill.
They had a Pershing, though.
And then move the Pershing up to block, like a sacrificial Pershing. I mean, the T-32 is going to be a little bit too slow to get up.
No, I don't. I think what happens there is you get an engagement. T-69s are loaded too quickly. And so what you do is you walk a 1390 straight into two T-69s. Two T-69s can burst down a 5100. they're going to easily deal with that 1390. After they finish dealing with the 1390, they get to turn their turrets to deal a little bit more damage before one of them should go down. Now, because there's other tanks, the other 1390s are, it's not like because they went up to the top of the hill, they're out of the fight. They're seconds out of the fight. They're light tanks. They're fast. So, and they're actually being put in an ideal situation because they're being given the opportunity to flank. And because they're given the opportunity to flank, they get to zero their shots, make everything count, and be the major damage dealers.
Well, in my head, I'm trying to figure out this scenario where it could work, where you block somehow those tanks on the hill so you can isolate the tanks behind the rocks. Because that's where the South is having this better position, this advantage, is they have the rocks cover them while their tanks can go up into the hillside, where there's a little bit more exposure from the north coming to the center.
To me, it seems like you'd get away with a sneakier attack by going to the east, because the east route is shorter now. Yeah, the east route's shorter. With the change to mines, you might be able to get. You might get spotted. You probably will get spotted on your approach by a T1 that goes out there. But if the 1390s from your opponent have gone up to the hill and they're sitting up top, the way the hill is now, I think you could get away with it. And maybe just get the jump on those T69s. If 3 of them come around the corner, 3 1390s come around the corner on 2 T69s, you should burst them down before, one of them should get bursted down before they're able to turn around. Second one will turn around and probably get like 2 or 3 shots off, then he'll go down. And that would be great. But that's an ideal situation. That's one where they've gone to the hill, played into that strategy, not predicted your east side movement, and have people in the right spot. A lot of things have to go right in these kinds of strats.
Yeah, and you want to have a strategy that works well, especially when things start to go wrong, instead of a polished, pristine, almost eggshell of a strategy
Just
that if
delicate.
one thing goes wrong, a very delicate strategy, one thing goes wrong, it falls apart.
Exactly.
It's really not practical, but it can be a surprise. Go ahead and jump into battle number 4 of the Cunninghams versus GooglyBobbers, this time on Prokhorovka.
And on Prokhorovka, they'll be bringing 2 T69s, 3 1390s. So the Cunninghams sticking to what they believe is a tried and true lineup. On the other side, GooglyBobbers, a T32, 2 Pershings, and 2 1390s. That's a good lineup. Really solid. I'm expecting center control out of the GooglyBobbers with something that heavy.
Well, heaviness versus mobility. Again, you have the 3 pillars of tanks. You got damage, armor, and mobility. And
I like the 1390 for damage and mobility.
yeah,
Armor's not so great, but I mean, I think it more than makes up for it with that mobility.
T32 is the 4th pillar in World of Tanks.
Freedom.
Freedom. That's right. Well, Spoon in the front. Jumping over to him in the 1390s. Going to be doing the classic scout run on Prokhorovka. Going down that F line, that Foxtrot line, and then coming down in 2-3 section into shot fired from T69. It's a miss.
The Cunninghams didn't spot a whole lot on their scout run. Did the GooglyBobbers get a good indication of the positioning out
Just
of
one tank. Just the one tank that fired at Spoon. That's it. That's all they've seen so far.
Oh.
And now, well, they see 2 more. They see the 2 T69s, Militant and Taka 001.
Risky move, but it's paying off. Taka and Militant get into a beautiful bowl position without taking any damage. They haven't had to pay for it, but a shell does ring right off the turret of Militant 83.
Zombie Food takes a shot to the front, though, and he's going to fall back.
Oh, that must have been from Commander J and Millard, who are sitting up in B1. I thought that was a single tank, but they were so close that it was actually 2. And A. Martin will actually go down to Baronish in their sack. I guess they're going to sack a T1 for that. Millard's going to go forward and try to spot, though.
T32.
Shots coming out from Spoon. He's playing that flank really aggressively and doesn't connect, unfortunately, but definitely scaring Silent Demise away. Silent Demise has to give up the position. He's on the move. Spoon was sitting still. Because of that, Silent couldn't hope to engage in any kind of advantage. But because Spoon is out on the east flank, Silent Demise is going to go to the west with Commander J and Millard. Smart move by the Cunninghams. Really strong reaction, understanding where their opponent is. They're going to take some hits. Millard down to 857, Commander J down to 873. But Baronish has to leave. He doesn't have enough shells to finish off both of these tankers. But Commander J and the Millard are in the open. They could be taking shells into the sides of their tanks.
Baronish takes a shot from behind. Commander J destroys the T1 that was scouting. And Baronish is still trying to bait a little bit, but actually get into the safe zone, out of the danger zone from the Cunninghams here. And the Cunninghams will continue to pursue.
You know, although the Cunninghams are really putting themselves in a zone of danger.
Now they're going to stop.
Well, it's not too good. The Millard's been pretty beat up. He's down to 224, and they tried to put some shots into the east, into that danger zone.
Oh, man, I saw Top Gun on IMAX. It was amazing.
Dude.
It really was. All right, Sovereign Zool in the front. Got to hold the line in the T-32 in case there is a push coming out from these T-69s. If a commitment happens from the GooglyBobbers, if there is a turret, right? The T-32 is the best line of defense they can have here on this map. Shot fired towards the T-69. That's a hit, but he takes a shot to the side. It did not do any damage, though. That one bounces as well. T-32 flexing his might.
So
against those
free and
shots.
American. Just bouncing all these French shells. It's just so efficient. Well made. Beautiful.
T-69s are still spotted on the side of GooglyBobbers, but not... Oh, big shot hitting the T-32. 1064 at a 1550 for his tank. Millard, 224 HP for him, as he is now going to move a little bit to the north. Commander J, almost down, 40 HP, 2 big hits coming out of the American tanks.
Oh, Spoon is actually coming in on the flank as well. Militant and Taka could find themselves engaged upon from Baronish and Spoon. Shots coming in. Taka takes a hit, but some return fire is happening. Spoon down to 619. Taka taking even more fire. They're pretty much surrounded. There are a lot of tanks, a lot of angles on them. Bananas to the wall host from one, Spoon from the other. Now Taka is down to 210. He will go down. Now Militant is engaged upon. Spoon just coming in and leaving, actually, with a few shells. But here come the American tanks to finish him off.
And they do. And GooglyBobbers are looking strong here to tie up the series and bringing us to a best-of-5 last match scenario. And now moving to the south, they know what's left for the Cunninghams. 2 1390s and a T1. They suspect the T1 will be to the north, as Spoon is going to be the point man to see where the rest of the Cunninghams went to the south. However, it's a little bit dangerous, and he only has 619 hit points left. And where is the Cunninghams?
Well, the Cunninghams, the Millard is in Kilo 3. He's hiding in a bush, waiting to find someone. Not firing, by the way. Millard's at 224 hit points. Silent Demise has taken a few hits in the open. More shots going on him. The focus is on Silent Demise. Millard may actually get looked over for a little while as Silent Demise tries to escape. Millard, will he be able to make use of this engagement? And he will, actually. Spoon down to 111. Spoon misses. Millard makes the connection, and he will take down that 1390.
Spoon missed twice in that firefight.
And now Millard's juking even more. They could clutch this with the mobility of the 1390s. They could do this. And now Millard fires once.
To bounce off the Pershing as the Pershing falls back. Zombie Food and the other Pershing is getting out of there. They're going to go for the flag cap. Smart, because they know in this engagement with Millard, there's a very slim chance, but there is a chance they could lose it.
No, there's a very good chance they could lose. The mobility of the 1390s could easily outplay with the health pools as they are. These medium tanks, light tanks, have an advantage in camo, they have an advantage in mobility, and they have this great burst. So the thing is, they can spot at ranges where the mediums cannot. Millard zeros on Toxzilla, takes him down. Good teamwork there for Silent Demise to proxy, and then, oh, but the cap's begun. Blue base is under attack.
Zombie Food.
Oh, and Silent's actually driving straight into a position in Echo 6. There are 2 tanks waiting for him, 2 medium tanks. Silent's at 810 hit points, but it's really questionable whether or not he could actually take on these 2 mediums. And he will find first Bananas, and he's going to juke away as best he can. Bananas actually blows the shot, and Silent's able to eke on by. And now there's actually counter cap happening. Red base is under attack. Minute 24 left on that
This is a
cap.
smart play from Silent. He's going to go to stop the flag as soon as possible all the way to the north, score himself hopefully a 1390. Bananas to the wall host knows what he's doing, and he's going to head to the north himself, and that Pershing. Baronesh is going to be set and ready to get a shot out once that blue tank is spotted.
Oh, they're actually going to take the tank off cap. Wow. Interesting move. And Silent Demise is going to peek up, finds Bananas, zeros, looking for the shot, bounces, and he will take a shot in response. Oh, that sounds like the gunner went down for Silent Demise, actually. And he's going to take more fire from a Pershing that's in Echo 6.
Yep,
now
that's from Zombie Food. Now it's a dual approach. He's going to fall back into the water, trying to keep them occupied. 40 seconds left on the flag cap. Silent Demise still on the run, diving down next to the water.
Spotted Comps. It's over. Poor Comps. Juke Comps. And he misses.
Oh, he gets him. And now Comps, last tank left alive with 22 seconds left. Sovereign Zool. T-32
Oh,
fires
wow.
again and misses.
If he keeps doing this, well, I don't know if comps can keep it up for this long.
Can he juke again? No, he can't. T-32 locks in the shot, fires. Just 8 seconds left for a victory. But that's going to go to the GooglyBobbers, meaning we're going to go to the rubber match. We're going to go to battle number 5. Nice play happening from the GooglyBobbers. The Cunninghams pushed really far to the south, stayed there for a while. Could they have stayed there too long?
I think becoming immobile really hurt. And Millard's positioning was it was good for spotting all approaches, but it put him out on an island. It put him out there so that there was no escape route for Millard, and he went down because of that. I think that's what really hurt Millard in the south, defending the cap, and in the north, Silent Demise did what he could, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get out once cap stopped. Once cap stopped, the T1 came off. Maybe in hindsight, it was a better choice to leave and just get out of there as quickly as possible, recognizing probably a trap has been sprung. Because the thing is, if GooglyBobbers can actually just get tanks into a fight, they can win. But the thing is, for Cunninghams, they have advantages where they can use guerrilla tactics to win out in that one. It's just
mobility.
Too different. Yeah.
Mobility. Let's take a quick commercial break. We come back, guys. We're going to jump right back to battle number 5. GooglyBobbers, Cunningham. Stay tuned. This is Gold League for World of Tanks. Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. Jumping into battle number 5 in a matter of seconds for the Cunninghams versus the GooglyBobbers. I'm impressed to see that the GooglyBobbers have brought the Cunninghams to the brink in battle number 5, and now the map is going to be Ruinberg. Let's jump into the game.
I haven't even looked at the screen clutch. I'm guessing Spoon is in a 1390, am I right? Yes! He will be squaring off against Commander J. Little scout battle there. I love this approach to Ruinberg, bringing in 1390. Everything else is heavy tanks. You get the mobility for this incredibly huge map. This really is a big map for 742 as far as just the way it can be played. You can go from one side to the other and still not run into your opponent sometimes. 2 5100s for either side, 2 IS-3s, and a 1390. Also, comps will be in an MS-1. Interesting choice for that tank.
1390 again, a choice because of the mobility on this map. It is a long map, a wide map, and it is a hybrid map. Cut in half, you have the more open side on the east and to the west, more the city side. Oh, shots fired in IS-3 against Spoon. He's able to juke it, though. Oh, another juke from Spoon. Saying too fast in his 1390 against the IS-3s. Militant 83 could poke around the corner. No, they're not going to go for the full-on engagement. The Delta Village Quadrant, the TIE Fighter area, is going to go to control of the Cunninghams, while GooglyBobbers will take the west, near the fountain, and angling towards the F crossroads. And not even a minute into the position, and 2 shots have already been fired and 2 misses.
Yeah, actually a third shot was fired by Commander J. Blind fire at Spoon. Didn't connect, of course, but...
Well, shots fired again against Silent Demise. He takes some hits, 1092 out of 1500.
Yeah, didn't expect that, and he's going to pay for it. I'm looking also towards the south, where A. Martin is beginning to move forward, and we actually have Commander J leading the way in his 1390 down the 8-9 line, hunting for a T1 Cunningham to kill. He knows the positions of GooglyBobbers. They saw that IS-3 in the west, they saw Spoon make his way to the west, and they have found a 13, a T1 Cunningham. Armor Ghost will go down for very little damage onto Commander J. And that will be entire east side control going to the Cunninghams. Really good job. Already 8 minutes into the battle. 8 minutes left in the battle, and they have a lot of control. They've got a T1 advantage right now. It's a lot to work with.
There's a lot to work with, but again, we still see a standstill happening a lot on this map of Ruinberg because a lot of the hesitation on the east side, I will say, for going to the flag cap, because the west is tougher to gather information because it's more closed off compared to the east.
You walk yourself into a firing line a lot of the times, and it can be very dangerous to try and scout the west side of the map when you have control of the east. There's 3 corridors that really get you into the west side, choke points that make it difficult. Now comps in the T1 Cunningham may get spotted or blind fired upon as he is looking to the west, and I see tanks approaching on the minimap.
Spoon indicated on the map to go towards the northern village. You will see one of the light tanks initially get the kill. He takes a big shot to the right, though, because he's spotted. He's going to continue to go forward. The MS-1 sees him. Another big hit against Spoon. He does take out the scouting.
Good prediction by the Cunninghams that the gun's pointed in the right direction. They saw this cap coming. Now Baronish is out in the open. He starts taking fire. Spoon goes down to Militant 83 in the IS-3. 5100s in the back are putting fire on their silent demise. And Militant 83 gonna look for more shots. Baronish down to 67 hit points. 19 seconds left on the cap.
You're gonna have to move in quickly. IS-3 is now moving in. Silent demise and Militant 83 coming around the corner. Tuxzilla is gonna hide behind these IS-3s. 10 seconds left. They have to get a reset. If this is a bounce, that won't be good. Nope, they are able to do damage, and now down to 14. Still more shots fired from Zombie Food in the 5100, unloading on the IS-3s. He takes a shot to his left shoulder. Another one hits the side of the tank, and he's going to back away. Another one for Zombie Food down to 289. The full push coming from the Cunninghams. 1 more second. No, 2 more seconds now. Reset has happened. The T1's been destroyed all the way back to 0. 2 tanks still left alive here. Bananas to the wall host in the IS-3, along with Sovereign Zool. The push comes around the corner. Millard was able to push against him. Takes down Zombie Food. Bananas to the wall host. Falls to Militant 83. Commander J now moves into 1390, and 1 tank's left alive for the GooglyBobbers. Cunninghams will close out this series. 2 more shots to take down the IS-3. 5100s lock in. There's 1 more from Taka 001. The final shot and the kill and the win for the Cunninghams.
Well played right there. Great defense, predicting it and shutting down the screening tanks. Baronish was going for the screen. Spoon going for the screen. They knew that was coming. When they saw it happen, 5100s were trained on the position, got plenty of damage out. IS-3s made their shots count. A few misses here and there, but at that range, it's just going to happen.
And the Cunninghams were set up for a good defensive play for that flag cap, and it worked perfectly. What's difficult is if we got to the 5-minute, 4-minute, 3-minute time, and the West is not doing anything. And Cunninghams goes, listen, we want to go for a win. We don't want to shoot out. We don't want to tie this. We want to go for the win. They move to the south at the exact moment where the window is open for the West to push
It's just finding that
stuff,
finding that window is really hard. GooglyBobbers had Spoon. He could have been doing that scouting, making distraction of himself, baiting out those tanks. But I don't think Cunninghams are going to do that until they had more intel, because it's so hard to attack from the west to the east or from the east to the west. There's just the corridors are really tight, and sometimes teams just don't want to do it. You just don't want to start waltzing into your opponent's controlled area, because if your opponent's in the west, let's go move into the west, guys. That's a great idea because they're waiting for us.
You don't want that to happen at all. The MS-1 position was great, though.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a sacrificial position because he's in the bush, but he covers the northern village, and that village is used many, many times by teams that go for the northern flag cap and have that reverse fire happening.
Precisely, and the MS-1 I don't think even got to really do any damage. I really wanted to see him do a little damage maybe with the gun in the MS-1. It pens okay, and it gets to 1390. I mean, you could, but with the sloping, I guess maybe you'll bounce. Meh, whatever. MS-1 not getting to prove that it's any different than a T1 Cunningham in this case.
We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, match number 2 will be waiting for us. That's the Pub Stars versus the Cazadores. Stay tuned. You're watching the Wargaming.net Gold League for World of Tanks.